Oh my gosh. Hello, good morning, and welcome to Friday, the 12th of June. Almost lost myself on my ball there. All right. Bit of a slow start for me this morning. Hang on, I'm just going to clean my thing. There we go. All right. How is everybody? Today we still have the moon in Taurus. All right. So I will just click the let people chat button. And then I will start. All right, so like I was saying, moon in Taurus today. So think comfort, security, values, slow down. All right, it's really a sensory type of sort of experience. Let me just, there we go. Friday! Good morning, Christy. How are you? All right, so in addition to us having the Taurus moon, the good morning, Heather. Good morning, Kath. How are you? So yeah, in addition to the Taurus moon, the moon is also void of course, which just means lost everybody in everybody. Just means that it's not making any applying aspects to any other point. Um, no, any other point or any other planet until after 12 o'clock when it starts to conjunct Mars. Good morning, Helen. Good morning, Karen. Yes, I have some boring adult admin stuff to do. Yay! And with that, Karen, I will read the words. All right, take some time in the morning to attend to important matters that you may have put aside. Think beauty, bills, budgets, and balance. The energy will pick up in the as the afternoon progresses. Now this evening with this beautiful moon in Taurus. Good morning, DG. Um, think a dinner date, all right? It doesn't necessarily have to be going out, all right? Now I've said this because Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter are all in Cancer. They're quite happy to just stay at home and chill. The moon in Taurus also doesn't necessarily want to be that social, doesn't mind having, like I said, a dinner date. So even if you're at home, make your favorite dish, light a candle, and enjoy the company, even if it's just you alone. All right, do something special for yourself. There's nothing wrong with making your home environment that much more sensory pleasing, or just even just aesthetically pleasing. All right, so the moon is being ruled by Venus. When I said balance, I was thinking of, a little bit of getting back in contact with your body. So I don't know whether you like meditation or stretching, or doesn't have to be extreme exercise. I just mean like reconnecting with yourself and finding that sense of balance, even if it is just a little bit of, you know, um, as we get older and we start to lose our youthful vigor. Oh, that's not exactly what I want to say, but I just mean things like literal balance, standing on one foot. All right. So like just standing on one foot and then reconnecting with all your muscles because you've got to like balance. Like I'm sitting I've got the exercise ball. This is my chair. All right. So I often find myself bracing my core just so that I can, that mind muscle connection. All right. Just rejig all your muscles so that you know that they're there. All right. Cat's going out to Penguin. Yay! Oh, that would be so nice. Penguin is so beautiful. Love to go there and actually see the penguins. So, all right. So things like that. Like think again sensory. So Taurus is traditionally self-worth. All right. So getting back into that state where you know how worthy you are, know how awesome you actually are. Right. Finances, like I said, attend to bills. Maybe it's conversations. Mercury is in Cancer. If you need to have conversation with companies about bills, or maybe you can have a look at your finances and just rejig things. I know I did the other day, got 5 weeks off. I'm like, okay, well, things aren't going to be progressing as they normally will. how about we stop some things or put some extra money aside over here because that's da, 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 you know what I mean? So that type of stuff. And beauty also, you know, go give yourself a facial, or just spend a little bit extra time, you know, moisturizing your person. I don't know, whatever you choose. So like I was saying, the moon is void of course, not making any other connections until after 12, where it starts to meet Mars. All right, so that's going to be a very late conjunction. From memory, it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And then after 6, it starts a sextile with Mercury. Another reason why I was like, a dinner date would be lovely, because this, you know, the moon in Taurus is there's an opportunity for a conversation at home, or a conversation with loved ones, or a family, or, you know, maybe a conversation about ancestry. Oh, Karen had a facial yesterday. Oh, how perfect is that for the Taurus moon vibes? What? Oh no, it went in there like at 11 o'clock. But that doesn't matter. We can still say yes to that, Karen. I don't really do facials. However, lately I have been thinking I want to do facials. I the other day I bought some you know, that bio oil. Obviously, like I had that skin doctor thing the other day. And so now I've been doing bio oil. My skin just feels amazing. I'm sure I think it looks better, but it really does feel lovely just to take that extra minute to, you know, moisturize and do the right things for your body. Yay. All right. Now, the sun also making no connections. So, you know, that's it's very much you know, the sun is at 21 degrees of Gemini. So, you know, we're coming into that last 10 days or 9 more days of Gemini season. So, as we move into the solstice, what are some of the things that you have been thinking about? You know, what are you daydreaming about? Again, maybe what are the things that are just popping into your head because the sun is, you know, I was going to say unhinged, but it's not connected to any other, it's not being influenced by any other thing. So, oh my gosh, oh, I've got things popping up everywhere. All right, so Mercury sextile Mars, Venus. Oh my God, I had an amazing, was my, oh, beautiful. Oh, so I love that. Spoil yourself for your birthday. And thank you. Thank you so much. So I had an amazing conversation last night with the lovely Deborah. And we had this, oh, you know, when you wax lyrical, when you just let the muses flow. And so I had this amazing conversation about Venus. So I am going to create, all right, for those of you that did my Venus in Leo retrograde course, like, oh my God, was that 2 or 3 years ago? I'm going to do another one. So we recorded it as well. So I've got the bones of it down. So Venus currently in Cancer, right? So she's at home at the moment, and in on the 10th of September, Venus moves into Scorpio. All right. So Venus is going to retrograde this year, and she's retrograding in Scorpio and moves back into Libra. All right. So I think I'm going to start it around around probably that September mark. All right. So anybody who's interested, just hold, this is your placeholder. All right. So currently Venus in Cancer, she's making connections to Neptune. All right. So she's making a trine to Neptune. So she's thinking about, all right, so she's in her ancestral mode. All right. Her hereditary is very obvious at the moment. All right. So she's looking to her belief systems and that Aryan bravery. It can be a little bit immature, but I just feel like, you know, I like to use, what do you believe that is willing to fight, you're willing to fight for? All right. So Venus has got that curiosity, you know, how does this hereditary work for me? And is it still going to hold my attention in the future is another one as well. Like, do those old beliefs of the past still make you feel like you believe in them? All right. There's a lot of shift in perspective and a belief at the moment across the board. So, but she is also opposing Pluto. All right. So even though she's at home, she's looking into that crowd, the collective, and she can see the dark side in things. All right. So she's looking at her beliefs. she's witnessing the muck that is the collective at the moment. Like, and Pluto in Aquarius is causing, no, it's not just Uranus in Gemini causing the rebellion of the people, but Pluto in Aquarius is also causing people to rebel. All right. So she's seeing how ancestry and hereditary, people are fighting against that. All right. And it could be within yourself. You're like, I don't believe those things anymore. All right. I need to destroy, transmute, transform. I have to move from this to this. And it can be hard. It can be Pluto. You do have to go through those tricky traumas and trials and tribulations to get through to the other side. It's sort of like the hero's journey. Belfast. Is this like an exact? Oh, is Belfast? I'm sorry, you have to elaborate. Are they also rebelling at the moment, Kath? Please elaborate. Sorry. And then she is square Chiron. All right. So Venus is considering all of these things, but also looking through the lens of her own wound. And that would make sense with Belfast as well, because, they are rebelling maybe against the crown. But they're also like, we were hard done by in the past. So I hope that makes sense. So she's looking at her experience through the lens of her wounds. She's seeing the evidence of all of the maybe destruction of what's happened because of, and um, and tomorrow she gets to a point where she can wholeheartedly accept that the wounds of the past have created a strength. Okay, she has got to a pinnacle level where she's more than a 1950s housewife. She's strong and resilient and a leader. Oh, okay, so Belfast, they're going off, riots in the street, houses burning down, getting immigrants out of Ireland. Oh my God, immigration. That is such a tricky one right now. That is so very relevant. Okay, so I know. Okay, so I know that the UK, not just the Ireland, are doing that because the governments are just letting so many immigrants in. And yes, I feel sorry for the immigrants, but when you leave a country because it's not good for you, don't bring those not good for you things with you. All right. I know Melbourne are struggling a lot with immigrants. I know Launceston's got a lot. Look, everywhere has got a lot. And our governments are doing nothing about it because they're like, well, nobody wants to work and the birth rate is declining. And, well, nobody wants to work because they keep getting fired because of AI. And then there's nobody checking AI either. So I think a couple of weeks ago, I was telling you about that company that introduced fired their workforce. No, they introduced AI, but didn't give them any limits. Therefore, so quickly they went under because they were charged like a couple of $1 million worth of AI fees or stuff like that. Even another one I heard, people are giving full access to AI agents to help them, and they're under, like, the AI agents are going off on their own, doing their own thing, undoing years of work on things that haven't been tried and tested, and therefore failing so quickly. So there's a lot of, like, that whole Aquarian dystopian future, it's coming undone in front of our eyes. There's just so many things that they're like, oh, this is the future, but it's not. The dodgy ones are killing people. Oh my God, yes. That poor guy that almost got beheaded. Again, they're not checking people, so they're letting undesirables in, oh my God. Okay, so look, I've just gone off on a little bit of a tangent, but this was basically about Venus, all right? She's right at home right now, looking at her traditional values, asking herself, is it worth fighting for? Look at the shit that I'm saying. All right, I've got my own wounds to worry about. Yet she understands when Venus does make that square to Chiron at 3 p.m. tomorrow, right? She can own that and say that my own wounds have given me the strength and resilience to become who I am. And then boom, Venus moves into Leo tomorrow. All right, so I know you all remember that Leo You know, Venus gets to put her crown on. All of those regal robes come out of the wardrobe. She's going to dust them off, get rid of the smell of mothballs, and then we get to stand in our power. Now, there's that song that I love, God Save the Prom Queen. And in it, it says that she turns her tears into diamonds for her crown. And I just think that is just such a beautiful analogy for all of us that are doing the work. You know, we're trying to get through the things that have previously hurt us. But here we are, stronger and more resilient because of, all right? We have survived, we are thriving. And then when Venus moves into Leo, we are proud and we are back into our leadership mode where we have our strength. And you know, a good leader can be vulnerable and strong at the same time. All right. So so that's moving into tomorrow's stuff. Like I said, Venus squares Chiron at 3, and then she moves into Leo at 8:45 p.m. tomorrow. So today, get all your stuff done in the morning. And if you do need that little bit of an energy boost, after 12 o'clock, the connection to Mars might just give you a little bit of a slap on the butt to get some more things done. But I just think, you know, this Venus story that I sort of really dove into yesterday, I'm like really looking forward to this Venus in Scorpio, mainly because it's my sign. But I'm also not afraid to be a leader that will hold somebody's hand to guide them through that Scorpio eighth house realm. All right. We, as a society and as ancestry, our hereditary, we shy away from those difficult conversations and we don't want to look into the darkness or the, you know, the skeletons that we've shoved in those closets. And it's time, you know, it's coming up to become time to do that. All right. So you've got till September. All right. So what are we now? June, July, August, September. All right. So we've got like 12 weeks, but I am going to be talking about it more because I want to look at Venus as her own timeline through the year. All right. So that's what I'll be doing on the side and talking about that a little bit more. So that's today. All right, I think I will do a weekend report tomorrow. Um, it's quite a reflective day, all right? So I like Saturday mornings because we can just chill. I'll do some cards. We can just sort of have some downtime where we don't have to rush off to work. So if you're interested, 8:30 tomorrow, I'll be doing that. Because even in the words, I've got the words done for tomorrow. I've actually got the words done up until Monday. Go me. Yeah, tomorrow is quite reflective. Another day where the morning is very quiet, and then energy starts to pick up after 12 o'clock tomorrow as well. So I was going to say Saturday morning cartoons, but it sort of feels like you generally have to do Saturday morning sports. So tomorrow's a day off from Saturday morning sports, and I'm so out of touch. I don't even know whether that I don't even know whether that is relevant at the moment. I don't even know where the kids are at school or not. So I'm like, I'm not going to use that one. All right, guys, that's me. My wing is still very tender. So, but I had a great sleep last night. So, yay. Yay for me. So yeah, I'm around if anybody wants like a little maybe 10-minute reading or, you know, maybe I can do like a $50 special. I don't know, because it's, you know, I'm doing like my rating for you guys. I'm just going to make it $99. If you say I'm in your group or, you know, I heard it in the group, it's $99 for half an hour. My rates are now 110 for half an hour, but I'll bring it to 99 for if you just say, hey, you said 99, I'll do 99. Or I did a $50 special ages ago, and that was for like 15-20 minutes. So yeah, anyway, that's me. I'll go. Mwah. See you guys tomorrow morning.